Toastmaster. No, you're fine. This is my son, Ethan, and my wife, Corinne. In December, he completed his first season of football at East High School. And he was named the Outstanding Offensive Player of the Year for the freshman class. And for him, it was an acknowledgement of the potential that he has, and more importantly, the hard work that he put in to making the most of that potential. And for me, it was the first time that I truly saw my son becoming a man, starting to become a man. Every father wishes to see his son become a man. But if our society is any indication, we don't always know what becoming a man looks like. Often we get our cues from culture. In many cases, becoming a man is informed, our path is informed by our experience with our own father. That wasn't going to work for me. My father was an alcoholic. My parents divorced when I was 2, and I only saw my father a handful of times before he died from alcoholism. And I was 15 years old, the age that Ethan is now. His father was an alcoholic. He was also verbally abusive and physically abusive to my father and to his 8 siblings. So you could say that I had a head start on what not to do. In the absence of a supportive father, and in the presence, in my father's case, in the presence of one that was abusive, we as men, trying to understand what it means to become a man, often turn to culture, where we get our cues. And those cues are often measurements of what we acquire as men physically and materially. Sexual conquests, Ironman's completed, mountains summited, number of dollars in the bank, number of cars in the driveway. But all of those things still fail to capture what it means to become a man, at least in my estimation. I mean, really, what do I want for Ethan? What would any fathers want for their sons? More stuff, more trophies, acknowledgments, more power, or do we want something for them that's much deeper than that? Over the holidays, I was going through some old files and I came across the poem If by Rudyard Kipling. Somewhere along the way, long before I was married, before I had children, before I even knew that I would have a son, I read this poem and I kept it. I wouldn't say that I had an epiphany, but I did actually keep the poem. Kipling's If says something timeless about becoming a man. It is a poem on character, and it is a story about endurance, that becoming a man is something that occurs on the other side of a courageous and what I would call robust response to this experience that we call life, the gains and losses from it, the group betrayals, and the individual heartache. And where the physical and the material acquisitions have a shelf life and fall by the wayside, it's a message that's enduring because it does say something about character. And for me, and the father that I want to be, and what I want for my son, it says something much more important than any temporary recognition in the past, yesterday, or in the future. And the poem goes like this: if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies. Or being hated, don't give way to hating. And yet don't look too good or talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it all in one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on, when there's nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, and if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.